Set. Huh. What up? Huh.
Say to me is a day to thank all veterans for their sake and giving us our freedom. It's really special. Really important. Very important. A lot because they did a lot for our lives. Veterans are important because they fight for our country. Because they keep people safe, our country safe. Veterans are important because they protect our country's land. They protect underwater and the sky. They protect on ground and they protect on boats. They help the world. They save our country from people that try to attack. They help the army get ready. They help the world. Great job. Because they serve They protect our people.
Important because they show that younger people should go to the army.
Because they help serve our country, and we should really be thanking them more than just one day a year.
We should thank the veterans because they have helped us. We should thank veterans because they go out and fight for our freedom and our country.
We celebrate Veterans Day to honor all the men and women that have served and are serving and that are fighting for us and our freedom and our rights that we have today.
Yeah, it's really nice. My grandpa's road. My uncle. My children.
And then we're going to do our dry erase.
I do. I think it's really cool that somebody in my family has served for our country and that he went into it risking his life, and I think it's really cool like what he did and everything that he's done for our country, and I really appreciate it.
Our honored veteran for Veterans Day Assembly is Mr. Jacobson, and it's good to have you here.
It's good to be here, Carter. I'm excited to be back. It's nice seeing everybody.
Yeah. Would you like to state your rank and branch of the military?
Yeah, so I'm a staff sergeant in the United States Army. I just got back from being overseas.
Yeah. Where exactly were you serving overseas?
So we initially made our way into Kuwait, and then from there we branched out, and we had part of our unit go up into Iraq, in Kurdistan, which is the northern part of Iraq. And then we also were in Saudi Arabia, where the oil refineries are in the middle of the desert. So we were in kind of 3 different locations all at one time, kind of bouncing around.
What do you remember about your first day of being over there, overseas?
So I think the flight ultimately took us like 22 hours to get over with our stops. And honestly, I mean, I was sleep deprived. I just remember getting off and it being about like 3:30 in the morning. And at that point in time, it was like 110 degrees. Get off the plane, and we left Texas when the weather was like in the 50s. So I remember just hitting that heat wave, hitting my face and thinking like, okay, so the sun's not even up and this is what I have to look forward to for, the next couple months. And honestly, I mean, it was dark, so I didn't know what to expect until, I got some shut eye. I think I got like 4 hours of sleep, and then we had to be up and start our work day. And I mean, I was just kind of taken aback because it's just, I've never experienced a place so hot before than when I first got off the plane in Kuwait, and I was just wow, you know. But it was good. I mean, it's definitely an experience, and it's still, I mean, it's a beautiful country as well. So yeah, it was an eventful first couple days, to say the least.
Were you in any firefights while you were over there?
No, we weren't in any firefights. We were in Iraq when Iran shot the missiles into Iraq. I wasn't there though. At that point in time, I was in Saudi Arabia, so I was far away from any danger. But we didn't have any firefights. Luckily, we weren't in any danger. We were safe, so that was good. And that goes back to, I think, just our military as a whole. I think being prepared, you know, for whatever comes our way. So thankfully, no, and we were all safe. We all came back.
So why exactly did you join the military?
So it's kind of funny. I first joined with the intent to have my school paid for, because they'll pay for your college, and that required a 6-year commitment. And then I finished out my 6 years. I got my college degree, and I kind of thought, you know, this is something I think I can do full time. Like, you know, I mean, I enjoy it, and I think with that said, once you're in it, you form a bond and a relationship with individuals, the men and women serving with you, and that bond there's something nothing like it. It's your family at that point, and I really enjoy that aspect of being in the military and being able to serve alongside those other people that share that common goal and interest, and have, you know, that mindset that you're really kind of doing something bigger. You know, I mean, you're serving your country, and that's important to me. So,
how was the food while you were over there?
In Kuwait, I mean, the food was delicious. We had our dining facility, so I mean, it was kind of like a restaurant style almost. And Iraq was the same way. Unfortunately, Saudi Arabia, I would say there's nothing against our army cooks, but what we were given, like, we kind of fell into a base that was in the middle of the desert. So we didn't have the luxuries, I would say, compared to other locations. But nonetheless, I mean, they were still hot meals, so that, you know, at that point, if I'm getting a hot meal every day, I can't complain.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite memory of being over there, or?
I do. This was when I was in Kuwait. It was right around Christmas, and in Kuwait, they don't get much rainfall at all because it's, you know, it's the Middle East. It's in the middle of the desert. But the winter is their rainy season. So I had to transport some equipment to another base within Kuwait, and we had a torrential downpour, and it probably started like early in the morning, and it lasted all day. Well, the following day I had to make a movement to the other base, and we decided to leave out of the gate around like midnight that night. So we had a convoy of vehicles. There was only 3 vehicles, and not knowing what to expect, we go out the front gate, and it's pitch black. You can't see anything. It's the middle of the desert, so there's obviously no light. And we drive into what we think is, you know, the road. No, a lake had formed. So we drove our vehicles into a lake, and initially, like, the engine takes on water, and, you know, the entire convoy stops. And I just remember opening the door and just water pouring into our vehicles. And at that point in time, like, we had all of our equipment on too, and our kit, we call it, or our vest with like our body armor and whatnot. And I just remember, I'm like, okay, like, I got to take this off. Like, I don't want to, you know, sink. So we got on top of the vehicles, and we kind of had to like swim back to the gate and find somebody. We had to get a wrench to pull our equipment out. So that made for a really long day. I think we didn't actually like get back into the gate until about noon the next day, so it took us about 12 hours. So that was probably I laugh about it now, but that night was one of the longest nights because it was cold too. I mean, being in the desert, but it was probably in the 40s that day. So just cold, wet, miserable. But again, I mean, you're there with your guys, and I mean, it's a good time. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a fun night, even though we got stuck.
Yeah. Are you allowed to get in details while you were stationed over there? Your platoon was?
So we would, as far as details, like our mission was really just to be a deterrent for, I guess, Iran or other countries over there. And we really were just kind of completed maintenance and conducted training. We did, we guarded oil fields down in Saudi Arabia, and up in Iraq. We were kind of working with foreign nations as well, like Australians and other our allies. So it was more of a training environment per se. But aside from that, I mean, we kind of just, we stood ready in the event that something happened, and thankfully nothing did. So.
Well, I thank you for being here. And,
yeah.
Appreciate it. And
I appreciate it, Carter. I really do.
Good you're home. And
yeah.
Are you going to get rotated back over to the Middle East?
Not at this point in time. No, I don't think so. I'm going to be going to a new unit, but that's not to say that it can't happen in the future. And if it does, I mean, I wouldn't mind going back. It's at times it stinks, but at other times, I mean, the good times far outweigh the bad, especially when you're there and you're with great people. So.
Well, thank you. That is our honored veteran for our Veterans Day Assembly video.
21 of Elyria, Ohio, Devontae graduated from Elyria High in 2017 as a straight-A student who wrestled all 4 years of high school. He loved to play basketball and video games with his friends and was known for being the funny friend that could always make others smile. Devontae has earned a couple of honors and awards while serving. He is part of the Army National Guard and works in the infantry. He's part of Unit I-145 Armored Regiment out of Stow, Ohio. Last August, he had been stationed in Kuwait and just got back home from being overseas for a little over a year. Devontae is unsure if he wants to go back and re-enlist, but he loved serving his country.
Master Sergeant Mike McConnell. Mike graduated from New London High School. He signed up to be in the Air Force when he was a senior in high school, age 17. He was quiet in high school, but a few people knew him for his skills in shop class. Mike enjoys building things out of wood as well as operating heavy machinery to renovate his yard. Mike started as an airman basic and ended up as a master sergeant. While in the Air Force, he also earned his college degree in human resources and management. He retired after 20 years of service. A few of his rewards and medals are Expert Marksman, Meritorious Service Medals, Overseas Long Tour, 2 of them, and Southwest Asia Service Medals.
Joshua Cross was born in November 12, 1975, and graduated from New London High School in 1994. He joined the Navy in August 1994 and later joined the Marines in July 2000. Joshua ran cross country and track and also participated in wrestling and karate. He was best known for the class clown, and while in the Navy, he took part in Operation Cobra Gold in 1996. Also, while in the Navy, he was stationed at Atsugi Naval Station and served on the U.S. Independence aircraft carrier. While in the Marines, he took part in Operation Iraq Freedom in 2001 and Operation Iraq Hope in 2004. Joshua was given a letter of accommodation for his actions in Operation Iraq Hope, and Joshua Cross is still living to this day and is now the father of 1 daughter.
Nathan Thomas, E4, Senior Airman. Nathan graduated from New London High School in 2016. He excelled in both academics and athletics. Nate played baseball, football, basketball, and ran track. He is currently attending Ohio State University, majoring in civil engineering. Nate is best known for being hardworking, responsible, family-oriented, and bringing a smile to every room he is in. He left for boot camp in fall of 2017. In 2018, he went to California for his training to be a mechanic. Nate is currently serving for our country. I looked up to him my whole life. Not only is he my cousin, but he is my hero.